And not even just Europeans either. You see, obviously, well-known individuals, Jay Hunpei and Slamnish, joining all the way from America with what is averaging 110 ping here between the two. And, I mean, obviously, they're tearing things up over in America for the longest time now, and certainly ready to do it here as well. Nabi from last season, second place sixes, like you mentioned. In this case, Papi, one of the few soldiers they have. Nathbo and Demoman, obviously also a well-known individual at this rate, I would imagine, to many people. And Seeds on Medic to close out Swift's roster here.
And with that, I can hear the sounds of the horns. The game has started. We're kicking things straight off into it. It will be our first week and our first map process. It's Ascent.EU versus SVIFT. And the first thing I'm seeing on this mid is a bit of calm, a bit of silence. Nobody's really jumping in first. Scouts getting that sort of pressure on top, but the soldiers will start jumping in now. The trading kind of blows each other, but the defensive line of SVIFT is just that bit stronger. That American power made in the USA just seems to be a bit better.
Yeah, there was recently like online a discussion on Twitter about talent versus like hard work and practice, and this is like basically just that extrapolated into a single TF2 match right now. You have these hardworking new individuals on, or relatively new individuals on Ascent against just people trying to just like take it easy this season, just drive by with little practice and just with what they have already. Good bit win for now. However, the late chases by Jay and Nabi not really accomplishing too much. Nas at least gets one more counter-strike eventually. Still, Ascent wants to get out of last year as quickly as they can, but Nas's damage is looking really good. And Papi with the high bomb as well. Straight on the shutter door, shuts down two more. Maybe just a chance to go straight into last year.
Aye, Papi with that 3-man advantage. Now they just walks in and Papi just goes in. He forces the Uber without even needing a stinking Uber. They will pop off the Uber much later now, and Papi cleans up the easy warp kill of his life, and he's just on lockdown mode, making sure that other door is cleared while the rest of his team pressures that point. Ascent flagging all over the place, trying to get on top of that point, but it's just so hard to play the point and get some kills as well, and it will be an easy peasy round for Team Swift.
Yeah, a hot start for their season. Looks right now that they can just keep on going for as long as this works, and it's on Ascent to try to adapt to beat this, which I anticipated that to be obviously a little bit different here. Ascent looked, in the few games I've seen them play so far, like a really, really aggressive, difficult to stop team, and it's the other team that have to like learn how to deal with them. But no, these guys on Swift still have it.
Yep, nice boy. Oh, he actually will get cleaned up very early on, but Nabi responds with a counter meme spoon over onto the enemy team as well. So they've lost the demo man, but they've lost a soldier over on the opposing Ascent side. And usually demo man trumps all, so let's see if they can take a part of this advantage. He will lead with a nice kill starting off this, and the damage rains through and rains true. They will tuck their tails between their legs and run back with their medic alive, building with Jay.
Yeah, often a kill like that just comes out of nowhere, and obviously with a weapon like that could just be like highly surprising to the opponent's team and just kind of take you back, stop the aggression. Ascent, like I said, an aggressive team, they are not taken aback by that at all and just kept on trucking along despite the soldier loss, just bombed in aggressively, didn't let them set up at all, warp, just get more or less 1.5 kills there. Second soldier just kills himself off of his body. Works out just fine for them, that just cleans up the kills they needed to take mid, take second, all the way to last. However, Swift, well aware of all this going on, still leaving the midpoint here quickly enough to have the Uber up on us as well. This will be a little bit of a stalemate, not quite as much momentum here just yet, and no one overextending as well on Swift, just trying to hold the fort as much as they can, putting up an engineer, putting up a sniper to make any attempt to get in here as difficult as they can against a team like Ascent. That is really valuable to have. You can't let them like take any space for free at all. They will take whatever they can to get players into position to make some plays happen.
Oh my god, Papi is in gink mode, boss mode, because he is just taking a free freebie over on this little flankway in this computer room, so things are going to chill out. They're going to send one soldier in because it's obligatory. You know, you lose one player, we're going to throw in another player. They will take out Nasboy. That is a big pick for them, but Domo went down for the cause during that, so it kind of turns back to even Stevens, and they're just going to play things defensively. They have got that engineer up to kind of make sure that last is not a complete pushover with these people dying.
Yeah, they do sack and warp pretty quickly as well. Just keeping it unexpected, I guess. They're down one. You don't necessarily always are ready for like an immediate counter sack when people already start dying left and right. But with the gun, obviously, this is a lot easier to deal with. The gun will just take care of things like that fairly automatically, as it should be with the automatic aim it has. So everything nice and secure on the last point right now. Both teams now with the sniper rifle in hand. Thomas using the opportunity to pick one up. Slamnish still just waiting in the back, hoping to get something valuable here for the team. At the moment, though, they need to subject themselves to some spam by onto the gun. However, eventually someone has to peek deep enough for that, and this is where Slamnish will finally get his scene.
Yeah, gold medal to the USA sniper first. They will kick things off with a first headshot here between both of them, but Tomas has got to be pressuring Slemish just a little bit just by existing back there. It just kind of doesn't allow that free reign for the sniper to just get and push his luck, really.
Alright, you can also tell by the positioning already that this side of Swift has. They're trying to be careful about everything they can here. See, it's in the dispenser, level 3 dispenser as well, just to make sure that this can't happen to him. Wolf isn't quite as lucky, but Thomas also got it. If I was about to say, Slemish hitting the headshots a lot quicker than Thomas does right now, but no, he still got it as well.
This is the test! Oh no, they both missed! They're like rock, paper, scissors, but they can't. They keep drawing right now. And let's see who draws first blood. It is Ping versus home ground. Let's see.
Yeah, that can always play a role here. Obviously, if ping was no issue at all, we would have a lot more international competition online, but relatively matter, it does make a difference. Even if only so much, it's like still noticeable to everyone pretty much immediately here. So Slemish has to fight through a little bit of a disadvantage inherently, but that doesn't make them worse players on a conceptual level. And I mean, if you know where to look, you can find these shots anyway.
I don't even know. I plucks these heads out of the sky. It just looks like a jumbled mess to me, just all these players jumping about. And that's intentional. They're trying to make this as hard of a headshot as possible for Slemnish, but he's making it look so easy. Pappy mode, he's going in with his buddy, and he gets the drop onto Piggles as well. So with that huge advantage just gifted to them, they could make a play here, but they lost a lot of players to get that sort of drop out of them. They've taken out the sentry gun. They're going aggressive now. They've forced out the enemy medic's Uber. Seeds is popping on as many people as he can find, and they will defend, but I don't think they'll have enough to attack.
Yeah, there's always the question, how much to give for a force is too much. 3 picks is really sketchy. I mean, they might still have better numbers here in the end, with people dying for the second force on the sense end here to get the second point here. Seems very likely. Bomb in by Papi, looks good. Scout on the medic as well. You need to be careful. They're getting the second point at the end of this one, but there's still 2 down here. This could be an opportunity with the DuMmTm on the sand. Really difficult though.
Yeah, they worked so hard to get that point, but usually you don't have the numbers to keep it well defended, and this is what happens. The counter initiate comes out, these spawn advantages start kicking in for Ascent.EU, and they just claim that second point just as quickly as they lost it.
Yeah, this one really quick back and forth. Once again, like you said, they just didn't have enough on the second point anymore after all was said and done here to really get away with this. And Ascent wisely recognizing, even the demo went down, we can still make this happen. Deep bomb in behind by Soldier, turns everybody's head, and suddenly they're just all back all over this point, capping it up. It is not the huge momentum swing they would have liked to see. They didn't get the medic caught or enough kills out of this to straight go into last with, but slowly but surely they found themselves in position again that they've been in it for a few minutes already, and the longer you stay here, the more likely it becomes something happens, it just works for them. Now there we go. That's the start.
Yeah, they've gone in with the double chariot scout on the left-hand side. They want to get in before that sentry gun had a chance to really set up and get to level 3, and they're in now. They're getting clean as well. No Uber has been popped yet. There was the first pop coming out of Season Company instead, and they're all kind of grinding against each other on point. Nazboy's just desperately trying to keep that point covered so the rest of his team can recover and start claiming some frags, and the frags are following suit over on Swift. The skirmishers seem to be just a bit stronger. Piggles is trying to get out some damage of his own, but can't really find it, and he will get cleaned up with the rest of his team, and it did come a bit later though, and he will have a slightly longer respawn to punish his good nature.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just gotta go for it if the opportunity is there, but unfortunately, they were so antsy during the entire push. They had so much cap time, it's understandable to just want the last bit there, but there was just too many players left alive, and Swift making short notice of everything that was left alive there on the other side as well. Just about worked out for them, even though it was a close call here. Will not just get him second with what looks to be not too much resistance on the midpoint as well. This should just be 2 points capped back to back here. A little bit of damage thrown through choke, but Ascent wisely recognizing they should fall back. He sees has this advantage. If you overextend now, this will be ugly, and it doesn't make it much easier to second because the Uber will still come in.
Yep, 2 stickies been planted. Nasboy takes the huge bomb in, and they will find Hugo. And Pappy's already trying to bite off a lot more there, but he's already been discovered on this flank. They will start capping off that second point, but a lot of players are overextending, hunting for more kills here, and they're dropping like flies here, DuMmTm. They might not even get this second point at this rate. They've got Pappy on lockdown, or Pappy's got them on lockdown. He's giving them the jukes, and he's trying to make sure it won't get this soldier down without a fight.
Walt was just checking behind to see where Papi was, opens the shutter, and whoops, there's a rocket in his face. Unlucky, but ultimately, like he said, they just have too many people down already to make this an easy contestation. However, I see a lonely little Slamnish in the back.
Oh no,
that's
Nasboy.
and that's really scary for them.
Nasboy caught in no man's land, had 2 stickies placed behind him, and how can he really get out if there's something like that? His reinforcements have arrived. Nobody's got the mean spoon now. He's scared. Pickles, he pops the Uber. Not again, sir. Not again, as he will make sure they will not lose their medic today.
Also, it turns out that Papi getting warped in the process here before the second backcap was just about what stopped this backcap actually from winning the round, because warp was stopping the scout from backcapping all the way. Still, the Uber's here, and it's looking mighty strong already.
Oh my god, Pappy was just kind of gifted a Demoman then. He just plopped right in front of him. I bet he never believed his luck as they start kind of cleaning up the kills one after the other. And they do have a Fat Man on that last point, but it's going to have to be the bravest Fat Man you've ever seen. Let's see if he can turn things around. He will get 1 kill, but won't get the other. It's going to be 2-0 on that board.
Yeah, like a lot of minor things, like just slowly but surely gotten the advantages here they needed. The backup obviously being the big one, ultimately to just get this whole thing kickstarted, and then they just nicely played off it the entire way through, quick into sec, not letting anything escape before they realized they had as much dissat as it was. And yeah, Swift knows these situations. They've been here before and make it work just fine.
Oh, desperate times calls for desperate measures, DuMmTm. They've pulled out the crits, they've dodged the Nubby meme spoon, and things are starting off very aggressive here. Domo's even going to get the kill onto Nubby as well, so things can start off any better. Whoop's got some good damage as well. They've got a nice follow-up with these scouts. This is an Ascent mid if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, they always have the aggressive start with Nubby, but not much else to follow suit with that, so Ascent can, like the moment they dealt with that, just immediately just go all in themselves and are just all over the choke point early. Warp trying to go all the way deep for the kill on the medic here, but too many people in Brawlout won't happen just yet. Still, it's basically 1-for-1 trade with all, like,
they've got the 100% crits, but they've got the tiny window before they get this Uber charge ready for Seas. Has he got the fastest finger first? And he has! He will keep himself alive with that Uber charge, and Domos is going to have to be thrown to the wolves here as they will back out. But the bright side, though, they kept their own medic alive, and crits does build that little bit quicker than Medigun.
Yeah, like knowing you're gonna be in like an even Uber crit Uber situation is always very awkward to try to actually make like a safe play happen with. This is just about worked out the way they wanted to by catching them a little bit by surprise. Obviously, you can see the crit squeak model / the like slightly different looking Medibeam if you pay attention to it. But in the middle of a mid fight, you might just not do that. So this very easily could have just completely not be something Seeds was aware of until the moment they saw it coming. Good reaction time and all helps quite a bit there. Still, like you said, the crit is almost back up again, and Seeds is only on 70.
Alright, so we've got some counters popping out. They've got the Pyro ready. He's ready to try and reflect all these things, and he gets a nice starting reflex over onto Warped as well. This is a disastrous push coming out from Ascent, and they're getting collapsed on by Nubby from the behind as well. They will clean him up, but they've taken a lot of damage during all of that, and they're trying to follow up here. Even Jay's feeling himself. He's coming out as Pyro here. Very unprecedented as he pushes out with the rest of his squad, and victory on this last point.
Yeah, that was just really nice. I mean, I already said that doing stuff with a little bit more ping is just that bit harder, but reflect being probably a little bit more annoying than anything else, I guess. Not just timing your own projectiles if you were to be a projectile, but also dealing with the other ones on 100 ping. Can't imagine that to be too much fun, but it works for now. Let's not get into mid, and they still have this nice snipe by Dasboy there as well. Long distance snipe.
You got to feel a bit annoyed if you Tomas there and just get clipped by a random direct pipe. And they've still got an Uber charge, keep in mind, DuMmTm. They aren't worried about anything. It's not like there's going to be an Uber charge coming out for Pickles anytime soon. And Uber charge is the hardest hard counter to that crit streak.
Yeah, once it's up, you're just in a tough position, and there's not much Ascent can do about it. They will have to live this Uber right now, already storming into last.
Warped, very nice little jump play to kind of kite the Uber for half a second and get behind as well. Hoover up a health kit as well. And Seeds will go down, and they're losing a bit of heals here. With that heavy weapons guy, it's going to feel a bit choky dealing with all these damaged players. But they're doing a good job of kind of kiting his eyes around, making sure he's looking in every which direction. And the two American scouts are what remains on that last.
Yeah, look at that. Really, really quick job made once again of the heavy off class here, not letting him have any chance against whatever many people might be left on the team, and that's important. The heavy staying alive for too long can quickly spiral out of control if you just have some bad focus fire. Not the case for Swift just yet, and a 3-0 lead is really, really strong looking into halftime just now.
Domo, nice medium speed hitting this this rollout here, and Nubby, this time he's not going to go in with the meme spoon, he's just going to kind of sit back and take things easy and kind of play out a nice progressive mid, and nobody's really jumping in until the first soldier goes in now. I believe that's Pappy. Nubby's too preoccupied with the jump of Ascent collapsing in on them, and Ascent seems to be walking away with yet another mid.
Yeah, the mid fights are working. This is not the problem. They have really, really good mid fights. I guess they had plenty of time in the off-season, the extended one it was, to practice those. But just everything else that needs to work. And Hugo just about losing
he's got a
that fight
slice. He got a slice into Hugo. If
but
he keeps himself alive here, this will be big. But he will go down, and it's cruel, cruel game, DuMmTm. The longer you're alive, the longer that respawn will be in comparison to the rest of your dying teammates.
Wait a second, Pickles is still on the crit screen. They never switched off. Maybe they just completely forgot about it in the middle of the switching between rounds. But they have to make this work right now. This is really, really awkward. Obviously,
the stickies
it can work, but invincibility is just that much safer to do until last.
I think they realised how the pace of the game and where it's going, and if you want to start turning around, you need to start kicking things into 5th gear, and there's no 5th gear than this Kritzkrieg. They will actually have to deal with the sentry gun, and the sentry gun doesn't actually die to crits. It's a machine. It doesn't care about sparkly things, and they will start pouring in their souls anyway, despite losing Domo, despite losing Warped, and it couldn't be any easier, it looks like, for Swift.
Yeah, that's just exactly like you described. The crits just didn't do anything at all, and with the gun in a way, that's just so much harder to even get deep in the first place to try to get closer, right? So you need to get rid of it. You can't easily. It's just such a lose-lose situation. Either way, they found themselves at the issue here really aggressively once again. Yeah,
Pappy getting a nice little direct onto Hugo there, and they're having a tough time of holding on to the second point, and things will relax just a tad as they claim it back here over on Ascent, but they're still stuck in that Kritzkrieg mentality, and I mean, how many times will it take to fail until they call it a day, DuMmTm?
Yeah, it's really strange to see them commit to this much, even though the off-river plays are just fine. For example, mid-fights have just been not really the issue, and they don't seem to do themselves any favors.
Coming in.
There we go.
Nobby goes down, but that's the only casualty it looks like to this crit. Seeds is playing it kind of rough and wild, holding closer, but that's the play if you want to deal with these crits. If hold close to the door, there's no way for them to really get in. They will pop off the Uber now and get some nice damage in, maybe even get the kill onto Domo. They will find it in the end, so they just clean up whatever leftover players. They need to do a quick head count though, and they've missed one head. He's on the point, and he has been cleaned up. Caper trying to pull the wool over their eyes, but they will find him eventually.
Yeah, you need to watch out for that guy. A lot of people have praised him a lot going into this season already as the star player from his previous team in Division 1. Cannot let him have too much fun, otherwise you will regret it pretty quickly. For now, still doing a good job of that, and already swarming into midpoint here, walking about Domo.
Oh my! Oh my god! They have families warped! Please, please, have mercy! Is he going to get the air shot? I would have creamed myself if he got the air shot as well. He's styling on the lad! Look at this one-man walking army! Be afraid of warps, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, that was something. This just completely turns us all upside down once again. Domo was all just a bait.
Oh my god,
sniping though, in the way of things.
Oh my god, another headshot! What is going on?
No one fucking captures yet. The soldier goes in eventually, but Jay in the backline is dealing damage, but he's just only gotten a single kill in 3 shots. No one else quickly enough there. Really, really good individual plays there by a couple of players in a row here, but it wasn't enough for Swift to turn this around. Only 3-1 now, and Pickles back on the medigun.
Everyone's eating the Weetabix today, DuMmTm. My lord, everyone is just kind of coming in and styling all the place. Pappy had some nice little sort of bombs in there to just solo pick Domo as well. There was all sorts of little highlights sprinkled in there, and with that round, that's probably the morale back for Ascent.EU as we go into our next mid. And their mids have been strong so far, but they've taken a different approach. They've actually decided to all walk together as a unit, blob up onto the enemy right side, but Hugo will get picked off, and they're kind of caught in this sort of corner here. There's not really an easy way out as they've migrated all their players around there, but they find the weak link in Slem and the weak link into Nasboy as well. Domo did go down during all of that, so both demos traded a piece. It's scout versus soldier action. Actually, it's 2 scouts. Oh, never mind. It's an easy peasy mid for Ascent.EU because scouts, it's just a great class.
If you have 2 scouts left at the end of the mid-fight, I feel like you did something right. And it clearly works out in their favor here. The soldier cannot escape fast enough without abandoning this team, tries to stay into fight, but just gets demolished by the Sharks. So there's 2 scouts left on the blue team here. So Thomas Caper making a great job there, cleaning up what's left in front of them, and not just getting mid, but also getting second in pretty much immediate fashion here on top of a med kill late in all of this. This is immediate added to last. they've been struggling on last just now, a lot of which has to do with the crit, so let's hope the
Yeah.
Uber actually in hand now makes a difference.
I know. I would say it's all coming up stripes now. They've actually got the Medigun. They're dealing with the Sentry Gun. Look how much easier that is to deal when you're invincible. Now they're trying to clear the points of stickies and shooting them one by one, but the collapse comes in. But the hold is just much stronger for Ascent. They look like a man, like possessed here, DuMmTm. They're turning things around so quickly here.
That was just a beautiful point play there all around. They just got enough space on the point for the sticks not to matter at all, and just everyone has to forcibly get in their sticks ready to shut out everyone jumping as well. Everything was in place there perfectly for Ascent, and suddenly, with 10 minutes left, a third of the game still left to go, only one round differentiating these two.
10 minutes is a long time in FPS land, and these players will be feeling it. There's plenty of time for either of these teams to turn the game on its head. And Pappy, he will go in. Nice direct onto Thomas, laying the commanding mid-presence for his team. And from there, that confidence has gone into the veins of the rest of Swift, and now it's looking like a Swift mid.
Well, the old beast has to walk, and they're not quite done yet, and still plenty of time to make this lead a little bit more extended than it is right now. One round is nice, but clearly Ascent has shown they can get more than
Look at
one just
Nubby,
fine.
look at, oh my god, he takes out the sentry gun. He already knows where he's going to plant it before he plants it himself, and he's going to keep it down as well. Oh no, actually he will keep it alive just. Somebody's been tuning into the Uncle Dame videos, keeping that sentry gun alive, and they will have to get that up to at least level 2 to have any sort of real effect on these last points, and he's hammering away as quick as he can. They've got a heavy weapons guy as well, Caper, hanging on this right hand side, and the Ubers come in, but they haven't really found the rest of this combo just as yet.
Yeah, now he tries to jump over a point, but Debbie is just so much in the way of things. Still, the focus fire is good. He goes down quickly, just not quickly enough to deny people. And that will be the end of the last push as it stands right now. Player still behind is annoying, but clearly not something they can't deal with. Thomas just sees him right there. Papi, too weak to do anything against it, though. Will go down here late. 2 down each. Spawns coming in shortly. Swift falling back for the most part, but not quite giving up all the hope, it seems. They're hanging about near choke, but looks like they're playing it safe right now. And Pickles, once again on crits. I guess in this case, it's sort of like the Lego situation, where you just go crits to maybe have something up in time towards the end of like an extended last push here. Now they have to deal with it going forward now.
Nice little pipe coming out from Nas Boy. That's a Nas pipe. Yeah. As we're making the push in from Ascent.EU, they have got that crit streak still, you know, ready and waiting, but with every second that passes, that Uber charge is closing the gap, and it has. Let's see if they can make this crit streak happen. They get it! They get the crits! I can't believe it! Steves must have just looked at that golden sticky in the sky and thought, nah man, not popping. And he just dies to it! They must have seen it coming, surely.
This is the flaws of verbal communication. The scout saw it coming, dodged in time, but couldn't call it in time. So Steve still took the full brunt of that, goes down, and yeah, that's just the end of it. Really, nothing else really happens, but Ascent just gets the point anyway. Swift realizing going in for the kill on the medic now doesn't change anything. They need to hold this last point.
Okay, sentry gun being built, but I'm not sure if it's going to really contribute too much. Actually, I say that, it's gunned down Hugo, and Ascent have been stopped in their tracks. They're going back now, with what players they have left from this little push. I think they were just getting a bit too overconfident there and didn't realise that they've got a lot of players on those last points, defenders even.
Ooh, late pick onto Caper there as well, gets stopped by Navi. The crit comes out trying to snipe someone, but really there's not much to get. A scout demo man sure would be good to have, but that's all that's reachable, and even then, the aim quite a bit off for Domo, doesn't get anyone. Thomas out of forward spawn on heavy is a choice, but the Uber's coming up soon, and other than just staying in the front of it and delaying it from getting to your team, there's not much you can do with this right now.
I like to think of myself as a confident guy, DuMmTm, but even I don't have the confidence to think I could get someone with a direct pipe critical instead of like a critical sticky. You know, I still go with the sticky gun instead of the pipe, but oh my, Nas Boy will keep that choke way on lockdown there. They still got Domo kicking about, so they can still hold this point from a arm's reach, and they will.
Yeah, they just kind of out-DM everyone that wasn't on the beam. Pretty much clean and simple as stands. And there we go. Suddenly it all turns around again. They're still on crits on the sand. They really dedicated to this game, it seems, and mixed results so far. But hey, they still keep getting new chances, so why give up on it, I guess?
Nah, it's hard for Domo to make this push here because there could be stickies on any of these doors. Any of these doors could be nuked up to high heaven here, DuMmTm, but it's hard to kind of figure out and disarm them as well. He jumps in, and oh, that was what I was talking about. The nuke has been detonated, and it has been popped, killing 2 members of that team, and Ascent Domo is still in, but he will be Domo done, as they will clean him up, and they've got some problems over on the second point as well, and they're going to start capitalizing off all these deaths here over on SVIFT.
I mean, clearly the baller play right now would be just to stay unnecessarily close and have the crits ready immediately to get the kill on anyone joining the fight on second. They're playing it safe though, just waiting for the respawn. And so is SVIFT, actually. I guess they don't have much to gain from trying to gain more ground on the map right now, especially with this little time left. Better off just playing it safe, knowing fully well that as long as they see the crits coming in time, that's not the biggest threat right now. So it's really on Ascent trying to like formulate some situation, some gameplay that will lead them to have a big impact crit. And the gun needs to go down first of all.
Oh my!
That's just fine.
Okay.
And a little trap as well, just to make things even better.
Pappy had a bit of confidence there. They will get a nice, clean, sticky kill, and they popped off the crits, but they've just backed off because the Uber's coming in charge, and he just barrels in, puts the just puts the gun straight into his corpse and kills him. They're going for a scout 1v1 or maybe a 1v5 over on this last point, and they're Pappy's too concerned with getting the medic, and he will find him as well. It's got to feel bad if you're over on Ascent here, DuMmTm. You've got everything in order for yourself, apart from the Uber charge. It's just a crit squeak, and you got 5 minutes left. It's got to feel like pretty pressured if you're over on Ascent right now.
Yeah, they had like a situation before where they managed to like force the Uber with the crits nice and Roy with the kited. Not the case just now. Pickle's staying on it for now as well. At some point you have to be concerned, is it like a Steam server issue maybe? But now he switched off before. This is very much a deliberate decision for them to try and make this work right now. And let's see if it does, because these has so much advantage. The faster building won't matter as long as they follow an idiot like this, though. It won't matter anyway. Who has any Ubers?
Warps looks like he's just doing a jumping map, but he's jumping off the faces of SVIFT here, and they have got the Uber charge ready, and they're trying to use what little last bit they've got left of it to kind of come kicking and screaming against these aggressive players searching for this medic. And with no Uber charge ready for this last point, and already Ascent pushing in here, is this going to be the push where they're going to get that tying round? They will clean up both of the soldiers as well. This is a good start, but they do lose Pickles. So no heals, no problem. They go onto the point, and there we go. It's the tying round. We've got ourselves a game, DuMmTm.
It wouldn't be European Ascent if the Met dying on last push wouldn't matter in the slightest, and they still get around no problem. That seems to be a tradition, I guess, when Mailer picks up a European team, and it keeps on going. 3 minutes left. Anyone can still win this, but will it be in regular time? Will this go down to a golden cap at this rate, maybe?
Biggest shout out to Connor, keeping that tradition alive, even not within the server. Domo starts off strong already on this mid by not dying immediately. That's been a trend for both of these demo men and these mids. Both double big boy soldier bombs coming in, and coming in hot. They will get the Domo kill, and they're following up with some good damage here on SVIFT. Double scouts obliterating these players. Nasboy getting some nice pipes as well. With one soldier left, Hugo, he's going to just get gunned down, and the chariot scouts whistling away towards that second point. It's going to be a built Uber charge as well on that man.
Not much more time left. This is scary times now for Ascent.EU. They need a little bit more time off the clock to bring this to the golden cap, or really, really messed up last push right now for SVIFT to have a chance to even just bring this all the way back around in the time they have given to not go to golden cap in the first place. At this point, though, you would imagine that you play for the not lose condition rather than the win condition.
Okay, well, all right, okay.
Never mind.
Warped was in there, and he was no longer in there. They've taken out the sentry gun in this little push. They were already pressuring point, however. The Uber has come in quite late. Nasboy, he's been backstabbed by Thomas, but they have got one less soul to kind of keep that point defended, and they'll just take it under their noses here. It's 1 minute 40. There's still a possibility for this to tie here, DuMmTm, but it's looking very, very, very difficult for Ascent.EU.
Yeah, they need just a clean sweep on mid into an immediately one last push with Crit Creek as well. It's going to be really, really tough for them. Let's see if they have what it takes right now.
Hugo, he's going in. He's going hot, and he will get some good damage starting off onto these soldiers. He takes just as much from the opposing scouts as well, and they need to get the aggression going forward. I can see it going slightly more defensive for SVIFT. Smart play here. They just need to make it not a clean win on this mid for Ascent.EU, and they should have it, and they've played into their aggression, they've played into their greed here from Ascent.EU, and they will lose this mid, and therefore the game.
Yeah, this should be game over right now. And what a game it's been. I promised everyone watching a great start to the season, and it looked like I can't keep my word for now. This was a game and a half. Ascent desperately trying to make the comeback happen, but this just won't be it in the end, unfortunately.
Yeah, now this is what we call from the legendary Cadis's mouth himself, trash time, Garbo time. It's the time where mathematically it's impossible for them to make any sort of comeback. There's about 30 seconds left, but hey, it still counts the logs. Still counts the logs, baby. So we're going to keep playing. We're going to get that one last round on the ball. That one last air shot onto that player as well, and it looks better on the logs. It's 5-3 for SVIFT, but it was nothing but SVIFT.
Yeah, this was a good piece of work for SVIFT to get this win here. And if this is anything to go by, Sunshine won't be much more different in terms of how close a map it's been. This will be a nail-biter to the very end, I would imagine.
Whew, alright, DuMmTm. I feel like I need to calm down, I need to fan myself slightly. I'm hot and bothered. This was a quality game, and I mean, before we hit any sort of logs here, DuMmTm, is there anything you want to highlight from that game? Anything that was just astounding about it that you want to talk about?
I mean, just the fact that they stuck to this crit so long, it's not done astoundingly much, right? I mean, you can just look at the damage for Domo. It's like even less than Boy, which isn't necessarily like, to say Domo did bad, but with crit actually hitting things, obviously, this would be a much different story. They just didn't have the impact they really wanted to, making it all the more surprising they stuck to it to the bitter end here. And I mean, it was this close, despite the crits, despite the fact that Pickles just died like more than twice as much in the end, because he just couldn't be invincible, right? They just had to play, they forced themselves basically to play even more like they do normally, and it just wasn't quite enough.
Yeah, I'm looking at the logs as well, and whew, look at Pappy. I mean, he seems to be the outlier here, as I'm sure, yeah, demo men do get a lot of damage. Domo and Nasboy are up there, but Pappy, he's just trying to make it a race for the damage spot, it looks like.
Let's see, what's the exact numbers here? Oh yeah, Pappy, 316 DPM. I don't think that's quite on screen just yet, so let's just be a little bit more specific about this. But yeah, he is living up to his name there, and living up to the heals. Actually, no, he didn't even take that much heals. I mean, 20% heals is certainly more than any of us out on the server, but still, it's not like extremely much, right? It's not like the most outstanding thing ever. So just played really well. I mean, the man was praised last season for how Ascent did in that season with the last roster. So I mean, goes to show a new roster, same Pappy.
Yeah, Pappy was just doing his best Keanu Reeves impression, and he was on the set of Speed, and it looked like he was just moving forward at a constant rate, and there was no reason for him to stop. There was times where they warped would get massive like turnaround kills. I'm pretty sure it just came down to how suicidal SVIFT were playing at points. Yes. They were just barreling in like no shame, and sometimes it came up Pappy, sometimes it came up Ascent as well. It makes me wonder if Ascent can kind of adapt to that sort of constant barrage, or if they can play a bit more quieter, or a little bit more back and deal with this counter aggression. But it makes a good TF2.
You can just tell, like, I just now realized, looking at just the damage taken here between the teams, damage dealt between the teams even, it's such a massive difference for a game that was this close. That's just really, really weird to see, and it doesn't make sense until you have actually watched this game to get the full picture here, because this was just Ascent shamelessly trying to go aggressive at all times, pretty much trying to make these crits work as much as they can, and it just didn't work enough times, as you can clearly see by the end result, right? It was a tough start for them, despite the good mid fights. They just never really had the greatest finishing touch. There was like the one round where it was just it looked like the best process last push I've seen in years, but that was few and far between, and the off classes as well just made it really, really difficult.
All right, DuMmTm, I want names. I want blood. I want to know who's to blame, who's to praise, what's going on in this game. Is it Piggles? I mean, he's got a bit more deaths, but usually it's a bit cruel to blame these medics when it's usually a team effort. Is it the scouts here, the soldiers? Who needs to be picking up the game? Who needs to be calming down a bit and letting the other team have a chance?
I mean, obviously, I think in the end it's just the decision making that's just not been too good, right? Like how the pushes has been called, what the pushes were that have been called, stuff like that. That just needs to be stepped up a bit. Obviously, Ascent, a pretty fresh roster, has a lot more learning to do that, and a team with like Papi probably doing a bulk of the calling here, I would imagine. So Domo pretty much just has to overcome his predecessor on the Ascent squad in terms of being a main caller here, and that's not an easy task to do, even if they have less cohesion, having just scrimmed much less, let alone with a consistent roster than this Ascent roster has. They just have that much experience. They are really, really strong looking, and even the lesser experienced players like Nasboy, like Snubby, have definitely proven themselves to be really, really strong players individually. So Ascent has to be able to beat this as a team effort, and that's really the main way they can go about it, I think.
Now, I mean, I want to talk a bit more about that dynamic. We didn't really get into it too much into the pregame because there wasn't too much of a pregame to really get into. These teams were very prompt and proper, but they are playing with 3 possible pocket soldiers here, and you highlight the fact that maybe they're probably calling as well. Is that going to be the case for all of them? Am I going to see Captain coming in? Is he going to put on the captain hat? Hey.
I mean,
or
maybe.
is Tiger is going to be calling as well?
It will be interesting to hear later from them. I will be interested to see who else can call. I'm not too familiar, obviously, with like how vocal the Americans are in this team, maybe. But fact of the matter is that if you're playing with Americans, you kind of just need to take into account that due to time zones, there might just be awkward times where they just can't play all too much. They did a good job being available for officials last season for sixes. But in the end, he still wasn't really showing up for too many scrims, unfortunately. So that's going to be awkward if one of them takes the responsibility here. Maybe it's just like the experience coming through and like everyone just does a fair share of it, maybe. Or who knows, maybe Siege just steps up to the task as well, being, I believe, the only medic they really have rostered anyway.
And it's a real shame as well that these, I mean, it's great for us that these 2 teams meet up now. It makes for obviously a wonderful start and 2 big names. I couldn't ask for a better start to the TFTV and ETF2L season, but do you think that if these teams met up like maybe in week 7 or something like that, Ascent wouldn't feel so young? They've got some like games and experience under the belt. That's where that teamwork would have started kicking in a bit more and making things a bit more even. Or do you think this is how the power rankings is going to go all season?
I think the more time passes, the better for Ascent. They have they already look really strong for how little time they spent together, and I think there's just more and more ceiling to reach here for them, much more so than for a team that just like openly admits to not be that keen on practice right now. I think time will do them well here, but that's just one way to find out, and we'll see if this little time between 2 maps already makes much of a difference here.
Yep, it's a journey of 1,000 miles, and we're taking our second step here over onto this Sunshine map, CP Sunshine. It's your boy TurboTabs, DuMmTm, and ArchRhythm casting Ascent.EU versus SVIFT, and my god, Ascent was so quick at cleaning up SVIFT there, I didn't even get to finish my intro.
Well, they are ready to go, and ready to go like nothing else, and with Pickles going down, it's a little bit ugly.
Jay just kind of showing up, warped there, giving him the quick scout footwork and throwing in meat, as they will get the kill onto him and make them a bit sheepish about capping that second point now. And this is a bit unheard of. Usually it's really hard to defend this second point once you give up that initial wall space over on Sunshine.
Yeah, but with the threat of the Uber, no one really wants to just be in an awkward position on second, rather just have themselves together with buffs, ready to go for maybe a play here to either slow them down enough to have Uber on second themselves, or force early. Either way works. Warp tries to mistimes a little bit, still gets the kill for it though.
Yeah, so with one soldier going down, it makes them a bit scared here over on SVIFT, and despite having an overcharge up, they will back off. I guess they deem warped as a huge factor to this push.
Yeah, that's one thing maybe Ascent did right there, just like making them feel a little bit more than they really were willing to on SVIFT, and suddenly these Ubers are just up. I was thinking about slowing the put down for an Uber on second for Ascent, but no, they just will have it on mid instead. Works just fine, trying to make something happen immediately, but no one's really getting through Cafe. Hugo misses his jump as well. It's not major consequences just yet to any of this. They will just all get out fine and live to try another day, I guess.
Yeah, you can see them all huddled up on Ascent.EU, just kind of almost forming a plan within the game as well. I wonder if they'll pull out a little map. They decide to push Cafe again, and second time the charm, as they're trying to set up some initial stickies to deal with any bombs and maybe clear out some the opposing stickies as well. And they'll play a bit more sheepishly over on the Swift, as they will back off to their back wall and try and hold things a bit more back and forth, as Pappy will go down, going aggressive on that flankway. Maybe they've adjusted here over on Ascent.EU, Dum.
Yeah, this is a whole different pace of the game right now. Still, they're still trying to make things happen here. A little bit of a like fake bomb through for the Warp to be the one waddling in, but Navi and Slamdish hit the damage there. Nothing really can happen. Too much
nice.
dodging, but not everything there. The roller will still connect. That's suddenly two great picks for Swift to have.
Very nice pipes coming out from Nasboy. They're just smashing him clean on, and they will pop off this Uber over on Piggles and Tomas to kind of force the Uber charge, but they might have some respawners kicking in for Ascent any second now, but it's going to be hard to kind of come back in. They've actually sent 2 scouts back to deal with Tomas, and there we go. With him down, they will actually just give up the midpoint completely over on Ascent.EU.
Yeah, this is just point traded here, and with no Ubers to speak of anymore, this will probably be a little bit more waiting time before we see another play here on the Swift, more so than Ascent, I guess, with having all 6 up. Wants to really dare something, at least Papi wants to see if he can sneak something away here, but he's just jumping straight in the middle of everyone, and the rotation from Thaos is just way too slow to make something happen of that.
I mean, he's turned a lot of heads here, and Nubby has caught himself behind with all these heads being turned as well. He's going to jump back in there. Got a strange turnaround bomb. I didn't expect it, and Piggles certainly didn't expect it here. Mind games coming out from these Swift soldiers.
That's just coming out of nowhere, and I don't even think he was really expecting it, but Piggles just openly invited him on the shutter door there, and I mean, what else are you gonna do than take that invitation to get a med kill for free? And suddenly, this is such a different position to be in. Now Swift have all they need to make a last push happen. A little bit more setup time here for Ascent to put up a defense. The gun will be up. Thomas on Spy, but the Spy didn't do much last time. Well, it's a weird choice already that time. Let's see how it works this time around.
They've actually used the Uber already, and I bet Tomas is feeling a bit silly now because they're lacking one player whilst the Spy is doing things in the background and doing all sorts of shenanigans. Nasboy gets a nice cleaning pipe. There will be a final slap from Piggles, but it's not worth the war as they lose this first round.
That, like last time already, I questioned the Spy play, and again, there's just not the time for it, I think, in these situations. You really bank on the other team being really slow into last, and what incentive does Swift have to just let them get more time to set up any sort of defense with a sentry and something like that? So yeah, Swift nicely recognizing that, just be fast here and beat the threat we don't even know about.
Yeah, again, Ascent Domo will push from just like different sort of rollouts they're coming out from both soldiers. They're going to throw in Hugo now, but he doesn't really find... Oh, actually finds Pappy. I don't know how he gets that rocket off, but nobody's managed to concentrate it even better. Rocket gets good damage and a med kill to boot with the heal advantage. Now they need to bunch up here over on Swift and find any stragglers and keep Seeds alive, because the objective for Ascent.EU right now, kill that medic.
But dying is not something Seeds really has planned today. So everyone making sure of that, keeps him safe, and all that's left is Caper is escaping empty-handed. At least he does escape, but I don't think that matters too much just now.
My God, Caper really wants to be on the Swift side right now. Yeah. I'm not sure if he's trying to switch teams or trying to waste time, but he is wasting time here. He actually trades with Nubby. That's got to be annoying. But, I mean, you're 1 round up. I'm sure they're still feeling good on the side of Swift.
Alright, let's see what a Swift can do with this. They obviously have this huge advantage. Ascent well aware of it, really, really far back positioned. So Swift taking it slow, just making sure that there's no unknown threat anywhere. Caper obviously already removed. Maybe just checking for some potential sacking soldiers, but none of that happening. Papi, unfortunately, gets stuck in the shot.
Yeah, that's that aggression I was talking about. He's just like a bull in a china shop. He just really wants to start breaking things, and they're walking in now. They've got the heavy weapons guy back up and an Uber charge to keep things kind of solidified on this last point, but they just kite him out. They just go out, walk backwards, hold the S key, it seems, is the plan for Swift, as they want to build up that Uber charge lickety-split.
Ooh, the DM also kicking in just now. Navi getting 1 kill. The scouts making it difficult, but still getting the 1 frag there. And suddenly they're just all on us with the bombs coming towards point. Thomas doing a decent job shutting people down, but there's just too much to do for 1 man.
It must have been scary for Thomas just to see 4 players come round that corner and just hear the gulp as they all just get on top of him. I mean, again, like you said, he did a good job of killing what he could, but he's just one lonely scout. Another mid.
All right, yeah. 2-0 lead for Swift right now. We've seen how it ended last time. Still close enough, but Ascent needs this like one moment where things click to make the comeback happen. Let's see if they can find this quickly enough.
Oh my, Nubby really just wanted a tunnel vision in onto Domo there and get that Demoman pick really quick. But he actually goes down really early instead, and this has got to give a bit of morale to Ascent, feeling good on this mid as they're already pushing, biting off more than they can chew over on this second point as well before they even cap the mid point. And I'm not sure who really comes out the winner here. Maybe Ascent.EU. They have gained a point, but they've lost a lot of players.
Yeah, Swift might just consider repushing here. They're always already really close to maybe pushing in, but no, they don't really want to dare in the end. No need to dream big if you're in the lead, I suppose. Swift playing it safe for now, falling back to second and just trying to not lose much more than this.
So with 2-0, that's quite a cushiony feeling here in the game of Team Fortress 2. Or are you still scared? There's 20 minutes left on this clock, DuMmTm. Do you think Swift have anything to be scared about right now?
I guess they have to be scared about the crits coming in and this time just destroying everybody. For now, that's not the game plan. They're just trying to rotate through the left side, having the soldier come in the right side. Hugo's trying to make some space here as well. In the meantime, they get Papi. That's the start at least.
Man, it's got to suck being a Roman soldier on this map. As soon as you make any sort of... Oh my god, he dropped! He dropped the Uber! You saw it, I saw it, Twitch chat must have seen it. He dropped that Uber. And a nice set of like synced stickies from Nastboy. And Seeds is going to pop off this Uber much later now, just to really make sure things are just nice and calm here on the second point. I mean, things are still actually kicking a little bit for Ascent.EU, but when the dust settles, Seeds is still alive. He's already building on his way to his second Uber. How must they feel right now if you're on the Ascent mumble, DuMmTm?
You need some mental fortitude to come out of situations like this in general, right? They cannot really let this get to them. They need to keep playing, and they were very aggressive as we've seen them.
Hugo just comes in, picks out Nastboy, and they have thrown in a lot of players trying to hold on to this midpoint. Is it a bit foolish, however, because they could easily find Piggles again. He's gone into the bunker to kind of keep himself alive, and Nubby's on the hunt. Or he would be if he could, you know, hit his rocket jumps. But wait, no, we didn't see anything, did we, Nubby?
Well, there's a reason one of these guys is ranked like 28 or something on Tempest and not anyone else. Let's just say it's not Nubby, let me tell you.
I see you've been looking at my profile.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you. Alright, one last huzzah of a defense here. It's all scrappy here on this last point as they're running circles round, and they seem to be delivering each other one by one here over on Swift, and didn't look too coordinated, and they will be punished for it.
Well, that just works out fine for Ascent. They can really quickly just re-push into second and not have to worry about getting back up too much in the process as well, seeing exactly that everyone just left right in front of them. So yeah, back in the picture, Ascent with a good Uber advantage as well to try to get mid. Maybe they're coming from Cafe, it seems, rotating just now. Uber is dwindling in terms of advantage, but it's still there. They can make a play here.
Oh, the sticky trap!
Walking into the common spot there, unfortunately.
He looked him in the eye, he looked at him, and he revealed his trap card, and with Domo down, that's got to put the sail out of the wind out of the sail for Ascent.EU. And I say this, but they're still pushing, they're still making a go of it. Why are they not defending here from Swift? They've got an overcharge. Oh, they've actually popped on second instead. They've taken the sort of fight much further than I anticipated. Piggles is caught off on his scout though, and he's had to kind of deal with a soldier instead. The scout will go around the corner and meet him instead, and Piggles has managed to keep himself alive there, but it was a lot of panicking from Ascent.EU to kind of scramble at defense there for their medic.
Everyone just went deep into Cafe, immediately trying to save the medic desperately, and I mean they did, but it costed them a couple of lives. It's really fortunate that Swift lost enough to not consider pushing quickly here as well, taking it a little bit slower as well here, which is great for Ascent. 3 down is always sketchy no matter what, and they will be able to take a sigh of relief here and maybe set up a little bit more with the sniper. It seems like that's what they want to do.
Oh, that was a nice body shot, nice complementing body shot as well, and 150 plus 68 equals dead soldier. So with that, they can still keep making this push. They've got a man advantage, even despite the sniper not really going to be doing too much pushing into this. But let's see, might call me a fool as they're holding back here, and oh no, it's happened again. Papi managed to get behind this time. He's the one to claim the Piggles drop, and It can't be good starting out the season like this where you met. Oh my god, what the hell is this video game? Okay, we get a nice little shovel kill, and nobody's even going to get some nice damage laid out, killing some of the flank players, holding it down, and they will maybe get back capped. Oh my god, they're bringing out every flavor of Team Fortress 2, it seems right now. Headshots, meme spoons, back caps, we've got it all here on Team Fortress TV. Warped will get a kill onto Slemnish with that sniper going down. They can breathe a sigh of relief. They've got this midpoint covered as well, and they've got 100% Uber kicking in the back.
Alright, that was a lot of things happening for
oh my, nice air shot. Oh, Hugo just bodied that man. ETF2L ban list perhaps, we'll see. But we're Jay fighting Warped up in this lower area. Warped making a good fight of it, but will eventually go down just from the heal advantage alone. They've got the second point. It doesn't matter how many things happen, DuMmTm. SVIFT seems to come out of it stronger.
Yeah, Ascent needs to get themselves together. There's just like so many things happening, and none of which really like cohesively playing into each other. You can just tell a little bit out of it right now, and there's still so much more game left in this map here. They really need to come together. I mentioned they need to beat them as a team here. They can't beat them individually, I don't think, right now.
Okay, we're using the Uber, it seems, and they will clean up Pappy, trying to inch his way past. Slemnish is like, there's an Uber happening? How the hell did I die? And Domo, in his desperation to make something happen with the Uber, he's gone aggressive. He went and overextended himself. Pickles is trying to get a slice in as well. He's going to go in. I'm not sure they know that. They're on their last point right now. Nasboy is the most furthest player on this point right now. It should really be a blue member of Ascent, and they're already capping it. The Uber's been popped up to make sure things a bit of an easy streak here for SVIFT, and it will be 3-0. And what the hell is going on in this game?
Ascent is just so out of it. We talked about just having the mental fortitude to bring this to a comeback, and right now it's not quite looking like that for us. And looks like SVIFT just has an easier time here making happen exactly what they want to see happen, and that goes a long distance here. 3-0 lead at halftime. It's going to be tough once again. They brought it close last time, but this time starting off with a not as committed bomb for Navi means he will actually stay alive for his attempt to get the kill.
Yeah, it just pushes him back a bit. Domo has to, Nasboy has to take a lot of special care and attention as he needs to get healed up. He will die despite all that special care and attention. And Ascent.EU, they're holding the ground, or pushing their ground instead. And they will get this midpoint. Strong midpoints. They look like they may want to poke in, but they decide against it. Everyone's just way too weak on the side of SVIFT right now.
Once again, a solid mid win here. Not crazy, they will not be able to just get a ton of momentum here, but it will be enough to take the point. Maybe try some more. Hugo getting shot down early though by Jay and Slemnish on the flank means playtime's probably over for a second here before someone on SVIFT would, I would imagine, just try as well.
Yep, Jay is sniffing. He's thinking about that choke push. But they're going to throw Warped in instead, trying to predict when that push is coming in, get the perfect sort of... Nobody's in the sky! Nobody's in the sky, and he's got a shovel! Kill that man, he's dead! No more drops for this lad, as they will hold the line, and with 100% Uber advantage and one player advantage, they could maybe make this push here.
Well, there's a chance at least. They will try to actually have Warp go in first of all here on the other side, and well, that's gotten something at least, not the best result, but I mean...
Seat! He's been forced. He's been brought down too low. For, yeah. It seems like the scary number is in the 70 region, as he just did not want to push his luck any further. Now it's time to kind of scale it all the way back. Get in the bunker, they say. We've got rations down here, but the nuclear fallout is too busy following them through the door. They're scraping all over this last point now, and they have to pick up the pieces, and there's just so much to deal with now. Caesar's doing a great job of keeping himself alive. I jinxed him, however. He will go down, and they've got the second point. The cavalry's arrived for this last point, and oh, Pappy, he's come in and he's died, but he got a kill on the way.
Really messy fight here on last. This is not at all looking like that one really clean one they had on Process. This is looking like anything involving the crits from earlier, pretty much. And it's just about good enough. Ascent needs some momentum, and this is a good way to start it off with, even if it was a little messy in the end.
Hang on a second, I'm sure I've seen this episode of Team Fortress TV. This guy, they're just rehashing the same episodes all over again. They did this on the last map, 3 rounds up, and then suddenly going to make a comeback now. Let's see what happens if it keeps rehashing all ideas. Oh, Nubby taking a completely turnaround here. He's not focusing Domo at all, goes into the enemy's cafe and just gets early onto that soldier instead. Warped is going to lay some good damage, probably more than likely a kill onto Seeds. With the medic down and Piggles alive, it's time for the secret mission of the SVIFT, which is kill the medic.
Yeah, this worked out just fine this time around. Warp with some really nice juking, dodging some sticks up by Nasboy all the way in Cafe to just get back out again on the medic. They rotate in immediately. Pickles almost will have in time for sure, but this is still a little bit awkward to try to rotate around here.
Oh no! Oh, that was worrying there. I'm pretty sure someone said on the Ascent squad there that Nubby's behind you. He's got the shovel, and he just popped his over just to really make sure that he wasn't going to go down there.
This isn't even like that bad for them though. They killed 2 soldiers with this, which isn't much, but maybe just enough to take second, given that Seeds just spawned. And this is really just like 15% advantage. This is really tough for Swift to just repush here. Soldier really lucky and forced to survive the traps. It would have been a nice pick, I suppose, to make a plane to last with, but in the end, Ascent did get what they wanted. They used the Uber to get the second point.
Alright, mission accomplished. Mission successfully failed. And let's see what they can do now. They're going to build up this Uber charge, but they have got Jay sitting on that sniper class, and whether he's going to go aggressive with it or just play defensive is up to Jay himself, but things are just going to quieten down, I think, until Piggles gets that 100%.
Yeah, as long as they can make something happen with this Uber that is productive, this will be a prime time to start even more to come, or continue to come back, I guess, at this point, really. They still have a lot of work cut out for them, though. A sniper on last, a gun on last, none of which makes it easy to play into last as freely as they would like to.
Oh, Domo got the trap onto Pappy there. He's so greedy, so peaky, as he wants to get any sort of damage he can lay out onto the Ascent squad, and it will lose his life. But Warped went down during all of that fray as well, and they just weren't confident pushing in with that, what little tiny advantage they had there.
Let's see what they try to do from this maybe on the other side now. People obviously still about, you want to be careful, but I mean, sooner or later you can maybe attempt to have the soldier, or not the soldier, the sniper be a little bit more aggressive, have Jay take some risks, maybe.
Ooh. Hugo, nice rockets. Doesn't really get a follow-up, however, and it's really hard to kill somebody off with that much HP. So, again, things are still in standoff mode, and they haven't really got the standoff sort of playmakers here. No snipers, no spies, no real off-class to be held, as they're just faffing about here.
Yeah, I've seen them a couple times, like, try to make this work without off-classes. They do have the option of putting someone on sniper. I think usually it's Thomas more than anyone, but they really would like to see this go down with off-classes.
Oh, they got the sentry gun down. Warped managed to find an angle and nuke it down all the way. This allows Hugo to get in for free and get his choice of bomb in. The scout even joins him as well, but the sentry gun will airshot him out of the sky, believe it or not. So
Slamnish switching off engineer while he has crits, brave choice.
My god, he didn't know what sort of power he had in his hands. Pappy, gonna go aggressive and try and make things happen. And make things happen, he did. The Euro has been forced. I can only conclude that Pappy did that.
There comes the bomb to shut up. Piggles had no idea. They didn't see him coming whatsoever. And suddenly, that's dead. Half the team's dead for that matter. And they really just have one last effort here to try to force himself into last. It will be enough to force the Uber, but not much more beyond that.
I'm losing my bearings here, it looks like, in this game, DuMmTm. Everyone just seems to be in different corners of these last points and second points, and the Ubers are popping off at just random times. Bless poor Adam on camera, I bet it's really hard to capture all this.
Yeah, this has gone like crazy in the last few minutes here on this Sunshine map, especially compared to how process went overall. A lot different pace here on this game, and like you said, difficult to follow sometimes, but in the end, Ascent needs to make something happen. They are very much justifiably having to throw themselves at the issue here.
Oh no. No, Daddy, no. Not the crits, Krieg. No, not again. It hurts, please. The Domo says, yes, we're going again. Shiny balls coming in through. He will be cleaned up by not just the sticky, but the pipe as well. The Uber's been popped off. Seeds is just trying to keep every man and woman and child alive, but the only people that are dying are Ascent.EU.
Yeah, that was unfortunately a little bit too blind. No one had really a good clue on where Swift was holding, which is really awkward because you have such a free sideline from Choke to just see pretty much everything they're doing. but they were just not quite aware that they were just rotating right behind them into Cafe and straight in there with the Uber.
So with that little victory in their back pocket, it does mean they'll have this next Uber charge advantage for certain. I mean, despite Kritzkrieg building as quickly as it does. And let's see, they're actually throwing their lead a little bit by all bunching up, and they will get picked off over on this flank-hand side, and they're starting to make the counter push in from Ascent.EU. They have got an Uber charge, however. Siege should have it around about now, and they should be aware over on Ascent.EU. I mean, yeah, on the Ascent.EU.
Let's see if they are. They need to be careful about this. Obviously, people will be spawning now, so Swift with no reason not to try to play aggressive here. However, it's at the moment still Ascent trying to make things happen. Pickles just about surfing that one out of there, all the way up in the skywalks to live this force attempt, actually.
Yeah, and he's got about 90%. He's healing on somebody now. They could come back in with this Kritzkrieg. They've got warped, currently glowing right now, but now they popped off actually onto Domo, and Pickles survives for all of 0.2 seconds there as, after he pops his Kritzkrieg, and it's up to Ascent to just kind of dig deep and hope that they can find these kills without the shiny.
Let's see if they can. They're still 2 down as well, but I mean, with this little up on Swift as well, it looks like Swift does not want to dare even be on mid right now, so no cap time for them just now, just building away on the Uber, trying to get their own up before Pickles can have any say in this, and they remain on the Kritzkrieg for now. Last time they pulled it out mid-game, this time only at the late game stages to really try to make the difference. Let's see if it can.
We can escape soldier bombs, we can escape Uber charges, Kritzkrieg, but they can't escape time here, and it is ticking second by second, tick-tock, tick-tock, as they got to be feeding the squeeze now. Over on Ascent.EU. Now, DuMmTm, in your analytical big brain, wrinkly brain opinion, what is the panic time here for Ascent.EU as the Uber's coming in from Swift now?
I mean, with the game going the way it does, I mean, it would be difficult to believe that they're not already in it, especially seeing how it goes right now. Just popping crits right back
the
in
crits,
here.
the laser beams are coming out!
Just about lifts Thomas, but they're
so
chasing all of them just all the way into second. They need this man to die. Siege gets a pack. Is it going to be enough? Everyone's on him.
Wolf is still in. He's still chasing. They're sending another scout in as well. Pappy is trying to keep the defense alive, but can he keep himself alive? He's going to... Oh, nice direct, but he will fall down, and they've... Nasboy's turn to kind of tag in and try and defend this last point, and they've done it. They've got a roundup.
It doesn't matter if your last pushes aren't good, just kill them on mid, I guess. And suddenly, this just goes all the distance here. One Uber from Swift wasn't good enough to claim some kills, and it just turns everything on its head. All of a sudden, only 1 round difference here. You mentioned the crunch time for them. It was, in fact, already happening, and it will not be much different now.
5 minutes left. 1 round is all they need over on Ascent.EU to bring things to a tie here, and they've actually gone to for the Medigun. No more Kritzkrieging about here for Ascent.EU, and they're going to go aggressive with Warped and see if they can lay out the foundation damage. They're all bunched up near this shed area, and they've gotten good damage and good focus. It's a very nice mid to start off here. They've lost track a little bit of their players as they actually back off. They want to blob up a bit more and play things a bit more defensively here because they know that Swift on the back foot.
People trying to chase once again. Is Pappy still around?
Pappy,
He tries to wrap
he's
around.
in.
Surprised in the damage is good. Pickles weak in the air, but it's not quite enough. Really good call by Pappy, but just not fast enough of it.
Yeah, and just not stylish enough rockets as well. Maybe if you had some of the most godlike rockets on the planet, that would have worked, but I didn't see it coming, and they certainly didn't see it coming either. They got even Ubers between both of these teams here, but Ascent.EU... Oh, the Uber just popped off. Okay, well, it looks like Siege just wants to fight. He clicks his button, and now he regrets his life immediately as they're going to back off and give up this second point. Oh, a scout emerges from the bunker, immediately gets munched by the Ascent bunch as... They are thinking about making this push into last with what little player advantage they have here. They're going to have Nubby overwhelmed over on this right-hand side, and they've already got point pressure in. Nasboy's been launched into the sky. He's been brought back down, and my God, what is this? It's a rehash of the first map here in this game. It's 3-3. It's unbelievable, Dom.
It might have took them considerably longer to make this Ascent machine work, but this is pretty much what they want to be able to do, right? They just want to keep going and going and going and never stop and give the other team like any space at all, and it got them this far. Once again, 3 more minutes. Swift can bring this back once more, but it'll be a big task ahead of them.
Alright, the mids have been very strong for Ascent, but oh my god, Warp just comes in like a speeding bullet, and he will get taken out with a speeding bullet, and things are playing a bit even right now. The position's looking just a bit stronger here for Swift as they're backed into a corner here at Ascent.EU. Everyone's feeling a bit low. The medic can't heal everybody enough as they will keep chasing for that medic now. Pickles is brought down to his bare bones. He's got 30 HP on that man. He will hoover up a health kit, and they decide to back off, pull back on the leash here on Swift, and finally go back for that midpoint.
Alright, they have not disastrously lost this after being stuck at their own choke for the longest time on this mid-fight, so it could already be a lot worse, but it's not like Swift is going to stop here, right? You can already see them aggressing through choke, trying to get some sort of bombs in, maybe have the scouts there ready for some cleanup, but with Puppy denied once more, he will have to try one more time here to see if something's possible, but no, he's just getting like taken low all the time here when he leaps into the air.
Yeah, things finally calming down for just a hot second. Oh, the soldiers actually managed to get behind here. Nubby's going to try and go for a flank kill instead of going to flank really hard, that you go back to your flank. Next level play. As Pappy will go down in the aggression, and they've decided to take their turn and go backwards here over on a Swift, losing too many players to really justify holding that mid. And both Ubers got exchanged as well. A lot was happening.
Nice little trap there by Nasboy, just putting it as invisible as possible into the rock there. Maybe it will work, because it's almost heading for it.
Pickles no! Pickles no!
He is!
Oh no, not like this! Not like this! Oh my god, it was a very nice trap from Nasboy, but I could see him dancing, floating about it, hovering to it like a moth. But Nasboy knew where he wanted to go.
This could be game ending right now. There's not much time left, and a full ad is about as good as you can get right now in terms of advantages to play around, and they need to do something about this quickly, and if I see another spy, I'll be upsetty.
He'll be upsetty spaghetti as Thomas. He's brought out the sniper rifle, and he will put the sniper rifle down, says Nubby, and they're crawling all over them. Scout on top of Demo Man. I've seen how this ends. Yep, it ends like that. So they're going to get this second point here. They've got an Uber charge as well. Is this how dreams die here, Dom?
It might just be with Domo down, no off classes just yet, Homo spawning sniper as well of all things.
Oh, 50 seconds left on the clock as well.
If they can hold this off just long enough, they are in the golden cap, but this cap time is so good already.
Oh my god, they've pressured the point so much. They've got the Uber charge, they've got 2 kills as well. They're just throwing bodies at it. It's just the Demo Man left, and there's no man left. It's 4-3. There's 30 seconds left. I can't believe, I'm gonna have to say it. I'm calling it. It's over.
A bold claim. One thing is for sure though, if we see a rematch of this, and with how good these teams have been playing, it's not too unlikely to assume that there will be a second version of this match at some point in the future. We are in for a wild ride once again, if this comes to be in playoffs at some point.
You're right, this is just episode 3 of the anime. We've still got like the finale way forward into the weeks to come, but it is a great way to start off this sort of story between these two teams, and it was a darling to watch here, DuMmTm.
Yeah, once again, just barely Swift pulling ahead at the end. 3-4 is the final scoreline on both maps, I believe it was. So, what a game it's been. I was not too optimistic, thinking this was going to be a nail-biter here, and these two teams going as close as they possibly can be without going into a golden gap. Or 3-5, I guess, but that time around, I guess, in the last map. So yeah, really close games here, back-to-back. And if this doesn't get you excited for the season, I don't know what will.
What do we even pick from there? It seems like that game had a little bit of everything, a little smidgen of everything there, DuMmTm. We had attempted back caps, we had air shots, we had headshots, we had drops, we had meme spoons, we had just sort of all sorts of question mark plays, remarkable plays, playing just at a constant rate. I don't think I managed to catch my breath, and I don't think these boys managed to catch like people alive here for. I mean, looking at the logs that we're going to probably segue to now at any point, the only person I can see that had a relatively good time is Seeds. We're sitting with 2 deaths.
So, yeah, he barely ever died. I mean, we had 7 rounds. He died twice in all of those. Well, 8, really, if you count the last 30 seconds, I guess. That is just remarkable. I mean, he's always been sort of like this like really sort of passive medic, trying to play it as safe as possible at all times, which kind of has been at odds a little bit with how Ascent used to play. Clearly, they made it work time and time again to make him like stand out as one of the best medics we have in Premiership currently, and once again, just stellar performance here. Pickles, with how aggressive Ascent tried to play, clearly not really able to catch a break here at all. And I mean, when you have Papi and Navi constantly trying to get into backlands and getting away with it too, courtesy of just somehow getting past the flank time and time again, they don't let him catch a break at all.
Yeah, I'm looking a bit more into these logs, and it almost feels like a copy-paste job from the previous game before, except now the scouts are feeling a bit more love. You know, they're actually getting a bit in there a bit more. Jay's kind of almost topping the charts, along with his mirror match of Tomas on the Ascent squad. But Papi, he seems to be a constant. They're still wanting to go to that top square, or top-ish square, I should say. I don't know where he gets this damage from. It feels like I do see him going in a lot, and I do see him dying, but then when I look at the logs, it's like, oh no, he's doing a lot more work than I pencil him for.
Yeah, the man has just shown time and time again how good he is, and man, have these all come a long way here. I remember when they just starting out, most of them in Premiership, and here we are with games like these, and it's just a whole different story, right?
Yeah. Now, for every sort of successful, like, barrage of parading horns, there's going to be that one little sad violin playing in the background, and I'm going to pick on Hugo here, as he's got those Roma stats, I like to call them. It's a sad day. It's a sad day, dying for the cause.
With how they played as a whole, it's not entirely surprising, but obviously that just shows how much more they have to develop there as well. When in return you have both the Pocket and the Roma on the opposing team being able to just like have so much more freedom. Ascent still have a long way to go. I praised them going into this match, obviously already looking really strong and still making it this close as well. I think it's just going to go upwards for them at this point, really. I'm looking really forward to seeing them develop over the season, and people need to watch out for them for sure. This will be a fight for the top this season, I would imagine.
Yeah, these are definitely in your books for playoff teams.
Yeah, for sure. It's gotta be like a really close race. You have like these like established names for sure between like Ascent, SVIFT, or Electro, Nerd Rage that you would expect to make it to the top fairly easily. But even like beyond that, I mean, the Frenchies are always this like consistent like thing in Premiership, just waiting to strike. Germans more or less as well, right? I mean, last season they kind of had the merger going on as well, but they still did well. The few that remained in the season because of that. We'll see now going under Feint as well, I should mention as well for those unaware. So it will be just a very interesting season here overall.
Yeah, I know I keep banging on about this point. It feels like I say this every season to come, DuMmTm, but is this the closest season we're going to have of all time?
I mean, normally we always have like these like one or two like top teams waiting to strike, and it's difficult to put like a solid number out at this time, so it really might just be.
Yeah, there's no Boogeyman 7 anymore. I mean, this team's got SVIFT. It's got 8 players on it. I'm pretty sure 8's a bigger number than 7. You know, I've done the math. All right, we should probably start wrapping up here. And wrapping up, I mean going over to our interview stage. We've got some keen gamers that are feeling pretty happy about their first week game here, DuMmTm. It's Nubby from Team SVIFT. Hey, Nubby, how's it going? We've also got Domo as well, representing the side of Ascent.EU. We've even got Seeds in as well. My God, we're being spoiled here. All right, gentlemen. Okay, first I'm going to start off with SVIFT here. Seeds, Nubby, you've won your first week quite, I mean, sort of semi-convincingly. I mean, you've got 6 ETF2L points, but it was quite close. How are you feeling?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Games.
It was enjoyable, honestly. Like, we're kind of just playing for the hell of it, but like it was really interesting because we went up 3 rounds on both maps, and then the other team did this kind of crazy crits thing that we've never ever seen, and we lost our minds both times and almost beefed.
Yeah, I mean, Domo, you've got to explain the crits to me. Was that like a joint team like decision, or was Piggles just lost his inventory halfway through the game? What was going on?
It's definitely joint team. I think it's a definitely underused medigun. You don't see it much in Prem, so I thought we'd give it a go. I've been practicing it for like the last week, so I thought we'd whip it out in the official.
Nice. Now, boys, this was a very chaotic game to cast. I'm going to ask like one of you each, one by one. Is this what the usual TF2 gameplay is like? Is this how things usually go? Or is this like an outlier here in the average TF2 game for you guys?
Honestly, like, from my experience of Jay and Slim Scouts, they kind of just play like that. Like, it's crazy good, and they're insane at what they do, but I feel like every time I'm against them or with them, it's just, like, pure chaos. But it's really fun to play. Like, it's genuinely interesting, TF2.
Domo, is this how things were meant to go?
This is how TF2 should be played, yes. Everyone should push.
Hot damn. Now, there was a lot of, initial, I guess, strong starts, I should say, coming out from Swift, and then there was a bit of a comeback. I want to know what the atmospheres were like for both of these Mumbles when those comebacks started happening. Seeds, I'm going to start with you. Like, what did you guys feel going up 3 rounds? Was it in both maps? And then suddenly dropping 3 rounds? Like, what was the atmosphere like?
This is the first time we've ever played with this roster, like, genuinely first games, and it means that we have to, like, learn every single small thing one by one, you know? So there was this time that we were scrimming and we were talking about doing like an all-in mid, and Naz bombed on it. So then we had to tell Naz that he doesn't actually bomb on all-in mids. And it's just like, we worked so many things out over the course of that games. It was genuinely really enjoyable to just adapt that well as a team, and we kept changing our mids because of it.
Domo, you make these comebacks happen. Like, what do you say to your team? Do you just say to them, like, boys, I'm going to pull out the machete if you don't get 3 fucking rounds right now? What do you say to your team in these moments?
You just act as if it's the start of the game. Nothing has changed. All our comms are very positive. Making sure that's the case. I think everyone has the same idea as well. Just keep it positive. Play a game. And
yeah, mate.
It works.
All right, now I've got a personal question to Nubby. Nubby, I'm seeing you fucking pop off and just run around and just like, what goes through your mindset? So do you already kind of calculate like, no, this is a shovel kill, or you're like, no, this is like a deep like, what is sort of the mindset going into some of these shovel kills? Do you always plan for like, yep, this is always going to be the plan if I get the shovel or not, or does it a set of things happen? Tell me the science behind it, Nubby.
Well, I don't really know if I'm gonna go for a Mark Yarden kill usually. Like, I just decide while I'm in the air. So it's just kind of random. If I see a good opportunity to use the shovel, then I'm just gonna go for it.
Now, was this like an atypical day at the office for Nubby, or is this like just a stressful game for Piggles, like, or...
Nubby's the medic destroyer. I get, like, whether it's a Pog or a Scrim, playing against Nubby just gives me anxiety, because he just teleports out of thin air and he's on Spy or Sniper or Soldier, and he just gets you, and there's very little you can do or say about it.
Is that true, Domo? Were people checking their closets for the Nubby boogeyman in that Ascent.EU game?
I mean, yeah, I never felt so much pressure on mids. I get to Sunshine mid usually, and it's 1 stick each for the demo, but apparently there's a soldier in my face. It's weird.
All right, okay. So now, boys, this is the token question I always ask, and teams always say, "Oh no, it doesn't really matter, Turbo." But did the maps matter at all? Was you happy with the maps that came out for both of these for this week 1, or would you have hoped for a different week, perhaps?
I didn't really think about it, to be honest. It was unlike the maps.
Yeah, I like the ETF2L map pool a lot. Like, I think it's a pretty good all-around pool.
Yeah, actually, that's good. I want to touch upon that. So, Badlands is gone. Badlands is no longer Bestlands. Are you, like, good riddance, all of you, or any of you shedding a single tear for Badlands?
I think it's a good map. I just think the teams didn't know how to play it, and blame that on the map. Like, it's a slow map, sure, but it's not nearly as bad as people say it is. Like, there are slower maps by far than Badlands.
Domo, please, you like Badlands, right?
Yeah, I like it. I'm kind of sad to see it go, but times are changing.
Is Metalworks here to stay then? Is that a good map?
It's too early to say, I think. I think I've played it for 1 season.
I
liked it, but yeah.
Very diplomatic answers coming out from everybody here. So, DuMmTm, have you got any sort of intelligence analysis questions you've got cooking in the jar?
Not really. I'm just sort of looking forward to the rest of the season. I guess I can ask you guys how you're looking forward to the rest of the season here. Obviously, a big team already out of the way. Anyone else you're looking forward to play, looking to be dreading to play maybe for the rest of the season here?
Everyone. We're losing Pappy on Monday because he's going to France with his girlfriend. So we might fold, honestly. We might just call it a day. We beat the best Prem team.
Take our points.
It's all downhill from here, really. We lose our Pappy.
Hold up, please. I'm pretty sure you've got like 2 soldiers still in the reserve there. Captain, Tiger.
Yeah, but without Mika Coolness, it's just an empty void out there.
Yeah, that's a good question. I was me and DuMmTm were kind of theorizing. It's like, so is Pappy calling? Does that mean like they get a different flavor of calling every time?
I'm sorry,
gonna
Captain.
Are they gonna...
Yeah, Pappy was main calling.
So is Captain and Tiger going to take the reins then? Do they have to take the reins, or does anybody else on your squad go into main call at all, do you reckon?
I think Jay can main call really well.
Jay can main call really well.
Wow, okay. Interesting. Well, it'll be really exciting to see and watch your season. By the way, Domo, this is early days for your team, and your team is like a team. You know, you're starting out, you're going to build yourself, and you're going to work at it. These not like these chumps that are just turning up for officials and stuff like that. What sort of high hopes have you got coming into the season with your team?
I just wanted to build a team that was going to be, what's the word for it? Positive.
Oh, okay.
Good. Like build them up as a team. Get some new skill in here. I think this is the hardest team we're going to play this season, so I think we're okay.
I remember the last time those words were said, it was said by a young Cadus with a very young team.
Just
Who
call me
knows?
Jason.
Maybe it's the new Domo Empire being built right before our eyes here. All
It's
right.
going to be good.
Cool. Okay. I'm all out of questions. DuMmTm, have you got any more?
No, I guess we can just mention what's ahead for the rest of the week. We have one game delayed this week. That is the Frenchies against Think Gaming. That's going to be next week. However, this week left is on Sunday. Aura Electro against Nerdrate. Some more familiar names battling it out at the end of the week. And that is probably it for today then, unless we have some shoutouts left, yeah?
All right. So you've all been wonderful guests, and I'm going to open the floor to you guys to make your shout-outs. I'm not even going to call out your name. You're just going to have to throw it out there, but you're going to keep it PG because my mother watches these casts, and she'll be very outraged if it's not something Christian. So, all right. Keep it Christian. Start it off. Just throw it out there, boys.
Go on, Seeds.
Shout out Rivs.
Nobby?
Oh wait, I need to open a file. 1 sec.
No!
There's a
Mute
file?
Nobby, mute him.
Alright, so shout outs to my team. Shout outs to Invis, Barney, Daga, Rio Curing, Dying Slave 22, Chibe, Defa, Vix,
Adam, play the music. Play the music,
Tram,
Adam. Adam, play the music.
Carbo, Metiasian, and that's it.
All right,
Really?
okay.
Well, it wasn't quite all of Hungary.
All right,
Domo.
that was nice. That was we got there in the end.
It's all right.
okay. So that was our showing of Ascent.EU versus Swift. Congratulations to Swift. They will take the.
What about Domo?
Yeah,
Forget
okay.
Domo. Just because he lost, you can't
all right, fair,
exclude him.
fair.
Shout out to me.
I
Controversial.
love me.
Hugo,
That is so relatable.
Taper, Tomas, Warped, Piggles, Pappy. There you go.
There we go. Okay. Ascent.EU versus Swift. Swift took the 6 points, but it was a really good game. Watch it on YouTube. We've got a YouTube. You'll find it. Just punch our name in. Teamfortress.tv. We've also got a website. We've got loads of articles about all these players and their storylines is there as well. Tune in for that. We also have more games coming. And this has been our start of our ETF2L Season 36, Week 1. And I've been TurboTabs. Joining me has been DuMmTm on the co-cast, ArchRhythm on that production, and a big shout out to Seeds, Domo, and Nubby for joining me on this interview. So, thank you very much. Thank you, Twitch chat, for coming as well. We'll see you next time.
Twitch Prime.